All right, guys, we're here. We're back. Pit Chatter Podcast, live recording from the Hex Haunted Attraction. I try to say live every time and forget the recording part, but we're in the Hex Haunted Attraction Tower here at Franklin County Speedway. I'm your host and your promoter for one more week, Langley Austin. Got Noah Hinchee here beside me. Noah, appreciate you showing up today.
I guess I'm probably going to get laid off after next week, huh?
No, you're the new promoter. I mean, what the hell are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
I mean, listen.
Look, we're paying drivers more than they've ever made.
Yeah.
All right, next year, come on down.
Live videos start next week, okay? So after the next episode of the podcast, Noah will be giving you live videos, keeping you up to date on what's going to happen here at Franklin County.
I've been consulting with my mentor a lot, which is what's his name, Brian Rousey.
Brian Rousey.
He's mentored me on how to run a racetrack successfully.
Yep.
I mean, he's got a ton of experience, 2 weeks worth, and we're gonna fire this thing up.
Listen, for all people can say about Brian Rousey, most everything he said was the truth. I want people to understand that. I mean, almost everything that he said in his lives, while they were outlandish and crazy, and he probably shouldn't have said them as trying to get people to race, they were true.
Except for the paying people part.
Well, that's no. You misunderstood. You misunderstood. You were going to get paid more after you raced for free.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See,
there's steps in life. You have to, kind of like, if you go to a fishing tournament, you have to pay your entry fee. Well, you may not necessarily make anything that week, but you might make more later on. Right?
Sure. And that's exactly how I'm going to run it.
There we go. I mean, listen, I'm telling you, the place is going to be packed next year.
Y'all race the first half of the season for free, and then the second half, boy, the payout's going to be good. I tell you what.
They're going to be really good. Well, I mean, once you're used to racing for free, I mean, paying them $1, that'd be pretty good.
Look, hey, don't talk about it before I do.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't want to let all the information out of the bag there. Man, speaking of, information, there's plenty of information we can share about this past weekend's race.
Yeah.
The Ricky Gillespie Memorial was chaotic.
I thought it was fun.
Oh, it was fun. I think. Most everything was fun. I mean, I got arrested and went to jail and came back in 5 minutes.
I tell you what, Kim deserves a medal because she had you bailed out quick.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, how does this happen? I mean, Lord Jesus, at a racetrack, man, it's amazing the amount of rumors that can spread in 5 minutes, and it's amazing how stupid people are because, I mean, I was literally standing up here in pit gate the entire time. And, I mean, I'm kind of hard to miss.
Well, according to multiple sources, you was in the car and you was on the way to the jail.
Yeah. The cop that showed up happened to be a friend of mine. But it didn't have anything to do with me needing to go to jail. I didn't do anything to go to jail. I mean, I've done some things in my life I probably should have went to jail for, but I didn't. And they didn't catch up with me Saturday. So had a little medical emergency in the pits. That's why the police was here, and the rescue squad eventually got here to take care of that. But I didn't beat anybody up. I didn't go to jail. I never left.
Yeah, well.
Sorry.
I mean, according to everybody else, you did.
Listen, I'm sorry to ruin everybody's rumors. But listen, there's a whole lot of, speaking of you, and we just talked about next year. Man, there's so many rumors out there. And I'm going to dispel a few of them for you just because I think, you guys deserve to have a little bit of information. Number one, nobody has sold 51% of the racetrack to anybody. Okay. Whitey owns the place outright himself, 100%. There's no 51% to be sold there. So there's no, you can put those rumors to bed. Whitey still owns the place, and I don't know who's going to be running the place next year. I know there's been some, deals, in the works. I tried to help with one of them in the beginning, and I believe it, might have fell through or whatever. Maybe it not. I don't even know. So who knows exactly what will happen? I mean, I know that Noah's going to be the promoter. That's the only thing I know.
Unfortunately, the deal with Buck to purchase a track, that one kind of fell through.
Well,
based on the fact that he has no money.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it was close. It was real close.
Well, I mean, I think he could borrow it from Wes and get there.
Given Speed Shop.
Yeah, Given Speed Shop may take over next year.
Not if I have any say.
I mean, according to some people, they run
Ain't
it
no
now.
revolution going on here.
I mean, according to some people, they run it now. I mean, Josh Brown, he believes that it's rigged here, for the championship this weekend. Wes Givens is going to win both of them.
You posted your whole plan.
Yep. Well, my plan doesn't match the one that he said existed, so I don't know.
Whatever. It's out there.
I don't know. I mean,
Watch it all happen exactly how you laid out.
I thought about that when I posted that last night. I was like, man, if this really happens, or if anything even close to this really happens, man, people are going to go, man, he really did rig this.
Oh, yeah. There ain't no getting out of that one.
I wish. Listen, if I had those powers, I can tell you that Bobby Gillespie would have won the late model race Saturday night. I don't care if his car was sitting on pit road; he still won the race.
Yeah,
because that would just be the best story and the best feel good moment of the year. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. The Ricky Gillespie Memorial. Ricky was Bobby's son. He passed away in 2020. Bobby had a good car, looked like maybe, but Kyle Dudley and him collided again for the second year in a row.
Yeah, it's hard to say if he had a good car or not. He didn't make it very far in the.
No, I think they got about 10 laps.
Yeah, which that sucks.
It does.
And not just for Bobby on such a special night, but it sucks to see cars go out like that. There was quite a bit of that.
It was, Ricky was wild. Anybody who knew him, he was an interesting individual, and he was always out for a good time. And I'm not sure that I'd call that late model race a good time, but it was something.
I was having a good time.
Yeah, well, I missed most of it.
The crew, the 18, maybe not having such a good time.
No, well, I don't know. I think they were having a pretty good time throwing water bottles and beers and everything else they could at the 4-car.
Yeah.
I thought they was having a pretty good time.
It was pretty funny. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, you know what was amazing about Saturday night? All the altercations that took place, and I mean there were numerous altercations that took place. I don't think there was 0 punches thrown. Maybe a slap, but 0 punches thrown, which is pretty impressive for the group of people we have here.
Yeah, that shows a tremendous amount of progress and restraint for our lovely little family down here.
Sometimes people say, well, there's no law and order at Franklin County, and we are more loose. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But I mean, that just goes to show you that there is some. There's enough respect there that punches aren't being thrown all the time. Now this weekend, who the hell knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know, but I hope not as bad where we're losing cars and stuff. But I ain't gonna lie, I hope there's just as much drama because I love it.
Oh, it's enjoyable.
I mean, honestly, that's half of what my job is getting talk about the drama and stuff. So
I mean, it was an absolute shit show Saturday.
Yeah, it was
from every direction and every angle and everything that took place. The mini stock race unraveled like right off the bat. Little miscommunication between the race director and the 16 team had them upset and parking on the front straightaway and everything else before the race even got started.
Yeah.
And that goes back to, our rule is, you win a race, your next race, you start in the rear, which Brittany knew that, but unfortunately the race director forgot about that. Jay makes mistakes like everybody else. He forgot about that, and he told them the wrong thing when their car was messed up. Man, and she, things went haywire. I'm sitting here thinking about it. For the mini stocks, things went haywire in practice.
Yeah.
I mean, Brittany Cockrum goes down, and I guess, I don't know, I got 2 different stories on what happened, but apparently, like, her steering wheel came off or whatever. She went for a ride over here. It's amazing that she didn't tear up the car.
I loosely heard what she said. She said something about a nut fell off. I don't know if she was talking about off like the actual steering rack or what.
Well, I think that was when she was talking about Wes Givens later on.
No, that was in practice.
He fell off over here in the corner, but
and all I know is I saw I can't remember that guy's name. I feel bad now, but I saw him go down to over turn 1. They were parked over here at turn 4, and he came running back to her car with 2 steering wheels in his hand. So They were getting something figured out over there.
Yeah, so interesting night for her. Anyways, let's try to dive into these races. I'm all over the board here. I've done mentioned, I got like ADHD going on here. Went in 42 different directions.
Are we going to go in order?
Sure. Where you want to start? Streetcar drags.
Oh Lord, so much happened. I forgot about the streetcar drags halfway.
Well,
that was fun.
They kind of got cut short, which shouldn't have, but that's another story.
I was getting told 3 different things, but hey, we still put on a good spectator drag show.
I mean, it was entertaining. Listen, I got a couple people that are sitting in the grandstands. They told me, they don't come here to watch the races. They just come here to watch the spectator drags.
Yep. Gillespie Wivens.
Gillespie Wivens.
Went out there.
Yeah.
Was putting a bumper to old Ryan Weed out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if Ryan was mad or not. I don't think he was. I would have been. I'd have been pissed.
Don't go out for streetcar drags.
That's why, especially after this year, that is why I will never go out here for spectator drags.
Yeah.
At some point, it got a little physical here in the last year or 2.
Yeah. Well, it happens. Ryan's done that himself.
Yeah, he has.
So he can't be mad about it.
No.
That was a good show between those guys, though.
I think we found the winning formula with making them go green, white, checkered on the last race.
Yeah. Well, it was good. It's a good thing Trey wasn't out there.
Yeah.
We had to clean up.
I think he's probably out of cars at this point.
No, he's still got 6 more.
Of course he does.
Yeah, he's still got 6 more.
I'm sure he'll bring 5 of them in total. 4 of them.
Technically he's got half over here, so that's probably 5.5 actually.
Yeah.
There's one sitting here in the pits that it's seen better days.
Well, he can close this year out in style this upcoming week and put one on the wall just like he's done all year.
Yeah, we're having 10,000 pennies to win streetcar drags this weekend.
What is that?
I thought you were. You see here a few minutes.
$10?
Hold on, you better get Buck to do the math for you, okay? Since he's the math specialist around here. Yeah, I think that's about $10. I don't know.
10,000 pennies.
Somebody with a calculator tell me what that is. I might have put up more money than I anticipated.
Yeah, we like Dr. Phil. We got a live crowd up in this joint.
10,000 pennies. Nobody.
10,000
They don't
pennies
even know how to do it on their calculator.
$100.
I was going for 10. We're going back to 1,000. I'm sorry.
1,000 pennies.
Yeah, 1,000 pennies. Yep, $10. 1,000 pennies. Well, we can go 100. I don't care. Streetcar drag should be good this weekend, though. You got Gillespie Wivens in that Honda Civic. It does have to have a tag on it this weekend, though. Ryan Weed said that we should not allow them to race without a tag on their car. Now, he didn't say that they had to be registered with the
I was getting ready to say, we can find tags all over.
I got an extra one in the back of my truck. I don't know where it came from.
It probably fell off of one of the cars that wrecked last year or something. I don't know.
It could have. I don't know. But anyways, streetcar drags has been very entertaining, and it was much the same this weekend. First race of the night, stock 4?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Tell me, take us through the stock 4 race. I don't remember.
I'm just saying it started off bad at the very beginning.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. See, my memory sucks, man. I'm 42, and I got the memory of like a 94-year-old.
That should have been an omen to how the rest of the night was going to go.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, these racers don't listen, okay? That's all it is. They just don't listen. They don't like to be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. Caleb Hall qualified on the pole, I believe. And he didn't start there because he didn't make it to the lineup. And they tell him in the driver's meeting that if you don't make it to the lineup, you just roll off where you roll out. He didn't even know where he rolled out. I had to explain it to him last night. So, anyways, he ended up starting in the back. He would have won the race, man. He probably would have got his first win had he started up front. But instead, he let Keyshawn start up front. And, since they're best friends and all, I guess he wanted to help him get a win.
I can't, and look, we're going to open her up here a little bit. I understand you got to defend your guys.
Oh, I'm not defending nobody.
But I got to take
the procedure is what the procedure is.
Multiple racers, not just Caleb, not just Josh, because Josh also got moved out there.
Yeah.
Said that an official came around there and said that they were fixing a hole over there in the track, and it was fine, just wait, because they got to wait for the patch to cure or whatever.
Okay.
So that's what happened, and then they waited, and then they get told in a playoff race that they lose their spot and have to go to the back. And
well, let me ask you a question, okay? You've been here for what, the last 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When the bike race happens and the streetcar drag race happens, what happens next?
Apparently patching holes. I don't know.
No. What happens next?
The first race.
Exactly. So they got no excuse. I mean, there's zero excuse. If you know the bike race is happening, it's probably time to get strapped in your car because it's getting ready to go down. I mean, there's no excuse. There's no way around it. I get it. You know, I mean, sometimes, you know, officials take it upon themselves to, you know, tell you some version of what they think is getting ready to happen here. Well, you need to be ready. It's your responsibility as the racer. You need to be ready for whatever comes next. And had nobody showed up over here on the front straightaway, I'd agree with you. But that wasn't the case.
I just don't. Yeah, you know, on a normal night, I get that. That's kind of, you have to enforce the rules, but with playoff implications and playoff drivers, I'm not a huge fan of that decision.
Well, I mean, I agree. I'm not a huge fan of them making a poor decision.
Okay, yeah. Well, you
I agree.
can say what you want.
Listen, I agree with you. I mean, I'm
especially when they then proceeded to pull them around to the front stretch and have them sit there for 5 minutes while the national anthem.
I mean that was the plan. I mean, so why are you not ready?
I just don't like it on a playoff race. That feels a little.
So you're saying that we should run every race except for the playoff races by one set of rules and then change the rules once we get to the playoffs? Yeah, I didn't think so. Anyways, let's move on. Keyshawn Clater.
I was processing something else.
Keyshawn Clater picked up the victory in the first of the twin stock fours. Pretty good race back behind him.
I don't even remember.
Jaden Austin was in second. Definitely not the fastest car, but for some reason they could not pass him.
Yeah.
And there was 4 or 5 of them there together. I don't even know what happened to Gary in that race. He fell out. They were all there together, and he fell out of that first race, which didn't matter. I mean, you know, back to your whole thing of playoff race. The playoffs were pretty well set. There was nothing that was going to change anything Saturday.
But technically, Josh was still in it.
I mean, he was.
And Josh just got his car fast, and who knows what could have happened. He could have won and transferred.
He would have needed to win both races and Keyshawn to finish last to have any hope, and I'm not even sure he would have then.
Well, I'm just saying.
You know what I mean? I get it.
And Josh was mad because he got took out on the first. Well, I mean, on the first lap from a young driver with not a lot of experience in it. There was people pushing him, and he didn't.
Whoa.
I'm talking about, technically 2 young drivers with not a lot of experience.
I wanted to make sure we were clarifying there.
One young driver was getting pushed by another young driver.
Yeah.
And it sent him straight up into Josh, and that ended that race for him.
Yeah. You got, and in that scenario, you've got one young driver who's, learning his way around his car, and you got one young driver who is learning his way to bounce off of every freaking thing here, okay? And he's doing a great job of it, okay? I said last night that he should win the championship based on how many cars he's hit in the last 3 races.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, you should
hit everything but the pace car.
1 point per hit. He wins the championship.
How much is the pace car worth?
I mean, it ain't
because I feel like I'm the only one that's bumped the pace car around here. I'm just saying, I hold that honor.
Listen, the amount of crap you've ran into around here, it's not surprising you've hit the pace car.
Mostly just walls. Not a whole lot of cars, but
cars, walls. I mean,
children. Oh, you didn't hear about that one. Never mind. We'll just skip on past that.
Holy smokes!
Don't let your kids run around the pits, guys. R.I.P. It was a joke. I didn't kill a kid. He was fine. He went to ICU, but he's good now.
Jesus Christ.
It makes it, when you don't laugh, it makes it seem like it's not a joke. You're supposed to laugh at the stuff.
Well, I wasn't really sure if it was.
Because now I just seem like a terrible person. Because it was just awkward silence after I said it.
At least we, put out your vibe, properly then.
Look, once the season's over, we're going to open her up, and the people are really going to get to know me.
I don't. Well, listen, we can't get that open, okay?
Oh, we're getting open with it.
Lord, I mean, there's not enough Pepsi in the world to get that open. Okay?
Oh yeah, We're switching from Tuesdays to Friday nights.
Oh, my God.
So that way I can responsibly drink without having to worry about work. And we're going to open her up.
This doesn't sound like a good plan to me.
I think it sounds like a great plan.
I mean, I guess as long as I don't drink with you, it'll probably be okay.
Does your offer still stand where you said you was going to hang out after this next race?
I mean,
because I'd like to get a few drinks in you and start prying some information out of you.
What information?
Be like, hey, man, you remember this time this happened? And you'd be like, yeah, well, this is what really happened. I'll be like, I knew it, you little ass.
Just bring your $100 bill and we'll talk about it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. If you know, you know. Anyways, back to the racing. I don't know what the hell else happened in the Stock 4 race.
Stock 4, look, that's how you know it's bad. That's why I kept telling everybody when Stock 4s was the most tame races of the night.
Sort of.
I thought the non-winners mini stock was going to be there, and then that kind of fell apart too.
Yeah, well, there's not enough of them is one of the problems,
Well, they still managed to, beat and bang.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about the non-winners. Gary Fitzgerald taking home the victory there in that one. He hadn't won a race this year. Shane Hodges, I believe, finished second?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he got second.
But leading up to that, I believe Shane and David Duncan got together. I don't know if David spun by himself. I don't know what happened. I don't even remember seeing that.
So much stuff happened in the mini stocks. It's a blur. I can't remember.
Is. Hey, speaking of the mini stocks, we'll jump over here in the mini stocks in the main mini stock race. Did you see all them guys crash down here in turns 1 and 2 and basically block the track?
I did. Well, I could see a few of the cars.
And nobody really got any damage except for Josh Phillips, I think, cut a tire.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I want to say it's amazing that the 32 car managed to wreck 4 times in one race and kept bringing it out there.
He had a night, didn't he?
At some point, I was like, "Dude, Wes, you just got to stop, man. Just park it."
He said on my Facebook post that he made more circles than he did laps.
Yeah, I know.
That was tough.
I will say, I'll give it to him. He held on to it for a very long time. That first instance,
yeah,
he fishtailed down the entire front stretch, and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna catch it. He's gonna catch it," and he just barely lost it there at the end. But yeah, he had a rough night.
He did.
That's something that stands out.
Speaking of rough nights, I mean, we got to go all the way back to qualifying for the mini stocks. That 21 car, Everett Cox, first time he'd ever been here, first laps that they got on the racetrack. Crashed it up on the back straightaway during qualifying.
I was wondering what happened.
Yeah, that's what
I was over here talking to people, and I was like, why did we stop?
Well, they had to take a few minutes to tow the car off the track there.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that until you just said that now.
Yeah. Not the way he wanted to start his adventure here. They had been planning on coming for 4, 5, 6 weeks here, and they let the weather forecast run them off a few times. And I mean, if you let the weather forecast here, I mean, if I looked at the weather during the week and went by that, 90% of the time we just go on and cancel the race.
I really don't think, because especially guys that don't race here a lot, they don't understand.
They don't.
The weather is completely, I wouldn't even say unpredictable. It's almost just like whatever the opposite is what's going to happen.
Yeah. Listen, ask Greg Mattingly. He came here last year for that big Crown Vic race, and it was 0% chance of rain.
Yeah.
And about halfway through the show, it rained out.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. You really. It's very hard to predict what's going to happen here. I'd like to say that I'm good at predicting weather. That's why we've got so many races in. But it's really, I've just got real lucky.
I remember last year one race it said it was going to rain. Then it changed, and they were like, "Nope, the clouds are going to move over here. We're going to be fine." And then right before qualifying, it just dumps out here, and I look on the radar. There's one little green speck, and it's just right above the track.
Yeah,
and it was just enough to ruin the whole day.
Yeah,
the weather is so backwards here. It's not even funny.
It's weird. Well, I mean, it's just it's the mountain line over here. It splits. I mean, I left here after not this past race, but the race before, and it was supposed to rain here.
Yeah.
And I went home, and my entire driveway, I mean, everything, I mean, it was just soaked. And even, honestly, when I left here Saturday night, the roads were all wet going toward Floyd.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing that it basically missed it. I think it missed it a few times during the course of Saturday.
Oh,
just
I
a
can
couple
tell
different
you
burns.
100 times where I've been down there right in Boone's Mill on 220, and it's pouring down rain. You get up here,
Yep.
it's sunny, 85, birds are chirping.
Listen, that's one of the problems with drawing fans here.
Yeah.
I mean, every week they think it's going to rain out. I mean, if you go by these apps and, even, Channel 7 or, whatever, I mean, every week it's supposed to rain. I mean, like this week it was supposed to rain. I mean, I think it's changed now.
Well, like I said, the only people that understand that are the people that come here every single week.
Hey,
For
Steve,
a fan that comes 3 times a year or whatever, they'll be like, nope, gonna rain.
Stephen Troll had to learn that lesson the hard way. Ethan might have won the championship here last year, but he missed a couple of races at the beginning of the year because he was trying to predict the weather. And he told me, he said, if you say we're racing, I'm just coming. And then he did, and the first one that he came to that way, it rained
out.
I think that's the one you're talking about, where about 6 o'clock it just rained.
It was one little speck, just ruined it.
That was one we didn't predict correctly.
If I remember correct, I think we went out there and started drying the track, spent an hour driving cars around, and then it just said, bah, again.
Yeah, it did.
We was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. All right, back to the mini stocks. We really do have ADHD today. We're all over the damn place.
Hey, whatever.
Anyways, so up front, Scott Foley and his Honda rods, they were up front, okay?
Yeah.
According to Gary Fitzgerald, he's got them Honda rods in there. That's why the thing is so fast. He's up front. Wes Givens is up front with him for a while. Brittany Cockrum eventually comes from the rear, catches Wes Givens, gets in front of him.
And then Wes comes from the rear.
And then, he went right into the rear. So
Yeah.
spun her around down here in turns 3 and 4, quote unquote. My throttle hung. Ain't a damn person
That's
here
his
believes
go-to
that.
excuse.
Okay, ain't a single person. I mean, he's the only guy here ever that had a throttle hang in one of those Crown Vics. Okay,
Yeah.
just saying.
Well, he eventually took that one back.
Yeah. Well,
Although just here a few minutes ago, he swore that he never even said that. So
oh no, he 100% said that. That is fact.
he's made up so many stories about his throttle hanging.
It's
He
hard
don't
to
even
keep
know
up.
which ones are which.
Yeah, in a few weeks he'll forget that that's what he said happened in this one. He'll say, "Yeah, I wrecked her. She run me up over here in turn 2," and that's exactly what happened. I'm watching the race, and when she runs him up over here in turn 2, which happened twice in the night, not between those two, but another incident, I seen that happen, and I'm like, well, we're getting ready to wreck down here in turns 3 and 4. It's getting ready to get good, and well, it got good. Well, not for them two, but for everybody else. For Scott Foley, it got good because basically eliminated the two people that had the best chance of beating him.
Yeah. Well,
They went to the rear of the field. The race had done elapsed past the time limit and ended up shortening the race soon after that. And then Chad Burnup and Stonewall Nicely get
you
together
missed
here.
it.
Hold on, what did I miss?
It got shortened from being shortened.
yeah.
The
Well,
shortened race got shortened.
Yeah, well, the way our deal works is once the time limit runs out, the next caution we go to a green, white, checkered. Well, no matter what happens, that race is over with.
Yeah.
Now, that will not be the case this week. This week, no championship race will finish that way. So, now it may be shortened, but it won't be just abruptly ended.
Yeah.
There will be a finality to the race. But anyways, so where was I there? Okay, Scott Foley. Anyways, he ends up taking home the win after that. But right here at the finish, Chad Burnup and Stonewall Nicely got together. Chad's car just wouldn't go. Stonewall got in the back of him, and I mean they just wrecked over here.
And that was after. I can't remember. Did we talk about that already? Josh Phillips getting into Stonewall over there.
Well, that was
Hopped him a little bit. Oh, that was part of the pile up over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was,
See,
that was
there's
in
so
one of
much
our-
stuff. I don't even know what's
That
what.
was in one of our ADHD moments a few minutes ago. Okay. I mean, we'll have to cut this podcast up and piece it back together where we're actually talking about the same things.
No, screw
2
it.
minutes
Let her
here.
ride.
Anyways, yeah, I said this on Scott's post, and obviously I'm joking, but his Honda rods held on for the 21 lap race. Had it been 25, they were not going to make it.
Who knows?
I mean, Gary Fitzgerald swears by it, man. I mean, he does.
Well, I know Scott's glad to finally.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's not the way he wanted to get
No.
a win, but a
No, but
win's a win.
Listen, I mean, he, in my opinion, during the race, he was the best car.
Yeah.
Brittany was obviously fast. Wes was pretty quick behind him. I mean, and we didn't even mention the moment when the lap cars got in Scott's way and Wes got to the inside. They went 3 wide or 4 wide or whatever the heck that was, and they went down off into turn 1, and that was just about the first inning.
They was 4 wide there for a second.
Yeah.
They split both of the car. I thought it was going to be a situation, but
Yeah.
Wes, a rare occurrence, he backed out at the last second.
Well, he did. And which, he probably wishes he would have backed out on Brittany over here in turn 3 later on. But
I don't think he regrets that one.
I don't either, actually. But he may regret it this weekend. You never know. Brittany may show up and get some revenge on that.
We'll see. Love to see it.
I mean, I know her dad, Darren Cochran, plans on being here. He'll be a part of the Star Superstock race this weekend.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited about. And we'll talk a little bit more about here in a few minutes.
Don't get me started on the street stocks.
Yeah, they're going to be fun. What else? What others? So Scott Foley won. I don't even know who finished second. I can't even remember here off the top of my head here. I don't have my results in front of me here, but
I'm trying to remember who I interviewed. Was it maybe? No, it wasn't Josh Phillips.
It don't even matter.
I think he got third.
Dennis Holdren finished second.
Yeah,
and that's
Dennis was the only guy the whole night that went through unscathed, no controversy with him.
Yep.
And in a brand new car.
Yeah, in that BJ Thrasher car. Said he didn't really have the right gear in that thing, but he made the most of it. Made the most of the way the race played out.
Well, on a night like that, I don't think it really matters how fast your car is if you can just do what Dennis did and make it through without wrecking.
And honestly, I mean, that's what he's done all year. I mean, he's fell into 3 or 4 victories because, crap's happened in front of him and on nights when he didn't have the best car.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll be honest with you. I really think that's what's going to happen this week for the championship. I really believe that Dennis Holdren he's not going to be the best car, and he's going to fall into position to win this championship.
Well, that's what your plan is, right?
Yeah, my plan. Yeah, my rig definitely on Josh Brown. When he was talking about being rigged, I laid out my plan, and yeah, that would be the plan. Dennis Holdren wins the championship. So
we'll see. I think it's a strong likelihood.
I mean, that is. Now, my stock 4 scenario, I mean, Keyshawn running out of gas is probably unlikely. Getting wrecked. I mean, he's making some enemies. He's made a lot of enemies this year, actually.
Yep. And then, I mean, everybody's starting to say the things that Josh said at the beginning of the year now.
Well,
all of a sudden, everybody's switching teams.
I don't know about that, but I'm not going to go that far. But yes, he's definitely.
The point is, he's just an aggressive driver. 100%. And with that, you're going to piss a lot of people off.
Yep.
No matter how clean you try to be or how dirty you try to be, when you're an aggressive driver, somebody's going to be pissed off.
I mean, he clearly does not care if he has any friends. So
he does not.
I mean, apparently he brings Jordan with him, and that's it. That's all he needs.
We'll see.
So
we'll see how this weekend goes.
I don't know. You want to tackle the late model race?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, we sort of started talking about it with Bobby and Kyle getting together on lap 10.
Yeah.
Kyle had to start in the rear. And listen, from that lap 10 moment to the end of that race, which was 78 laps, about 68 too many, it was total chaos.
Oh, it was, but I was loving every minute of it. I ain't going to lie to you.
I mean, from him coming down pit road to fix his car and, Bobby running off the racetrack. I mean, that might have been the most entertaining moment of the day. I mean.
Yeah, and then you had Dakota Walls doing his best West Golf impersonation and getting involved in 3 different accidents or whatever.
He definitely found his way into everything he could.
I will say obligatory, I told him I'd talk about it.
Yeah.
His slow but very entertaining qualifying run where he was sideways coming down the front stretch and somehow collected that thing back up.
And I want to say, kudos to those guys. They went to Kingsport Speedway on Friday, first time he'd ever been on Cobras. Went there Friday and run the race. and then came back. I think they had the problem. The reason they were late wasn't because where they went to Kingsport. They were late getting here Saturday because they had a problem with the brakes on their trailer or something.
Yeah.
Which they got to come down 5 Mile Mountain, so I get it. I mean, I live up to the top of it, so I understand. But I don't know, man. Just total calamity from there. Pit road was extremely active. I mean, there were people everywhere, mad. Kyle ends up coming back from that. Ends up getting into the lead. Him and Jimmy Mullins battle, and that's the other situation I was talking about where I saw it coming.
Yeah.
When Kyle has this, and I mean, he may not admit this, okay, but he has this signature move when he restarts under you. As the leader, you go off into turns 1 and 2. You're not making it beside of him coming off 2.
Yeah.
He's going far enough up the track that you can't be there.
Well, I mean, it apparently works most of the time, and sometimes people don't put up with it.
I mean, a few races ago, it worked good on Kyle Barnes. Didn't really work out as good on Jimmy Mullins.
Yeah, I don't think he planned the part 2 of that.
Yeah, Jimmy went down, tried to get back to his inside. I don't know that Jimmy was trying to wreck him. I don't know that he cared that he did, but he did. And they went around over here in turns 3 and 4, and kept the race exciting.
I don't know if Bobby G's fans were already also fans of Jimmy Mullins.
Oh, but they are now.
They definitely are now.
100%.
Because he walked over, and obviously he was upset after. I'm sure we'll talk about it here in a second, but I was like, buddy, I know it didn't go the way you played on it, but I hope you just gained like 100 more fans just now.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I guess I did.
Yeah. Oh, man. It was good. That was good hard racing. I mean, I can't say that he went down in there with the intentions of wrecking him. And they got together. Of course, they had to go to the rear, and Jimmy ended up getting the lead back, and Kyle, I think he blew up or something right after that. And
he blew up.
And then Kyle and I don't know exactly how all that played out during the course of the race. At some point or another, Kyle had to restart. He chose his line, then he changed his line, then he got a black flag for it, then he come down pit road. Not exactly at pit road speed.
I was waiting for the additional black flag, but it never came.
Well, they sort of served it, okay? So let me explain how scoring here works. There is no loop in the infield. So there's a loop on the track that, for the electronic scoring that picks up the transponders. Well, there's no loop in the pits. Well, so when he goes down pit road and does his little, 50 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour, 12 mile an hour, whatever it was, I don't know. I don't know what the speed was. It was a little faster than it should have been.
I'd say it was a strong 45.
It was definitely too much. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, if I'm the race director, at that point, I just park him and we just move on. But I wasn't a race director, and that's not what happened. So he comes down pit road. Well, he doesn't get counted for that lap.
Yeah.
So technically he's a lap down. So he ended up leaving it that way and letting that be his penalty.
Yeah.
So he lost a lap there. Made it up under green. Went up, looking like he's taking the lead from Drew Bond. Really, he's just getting back on the lead lap. And then here's where, things get real stupid. I guess there was some water on the track. That's what a couple people have told me.
I think that's what they were saying. Water.
They thought it was oil. And I guess, probably the 4-car, team, Kyle and them were probably complaining the loudest. I mean, I would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a caution. Let me get caught up here. I'm 100%. I mean, they were doing the politicking that they should be doing. The caution probably should have never been called. But I believe one of the officials indicated that they saw, oil on the track. And so they called the caution. And so he catches up, and then, of course, he passes Drew Bond. And Drew puts up a good fight, but, he passes him and goes on and wins the race. I mean, the fastest car won the race. I mean,
yeah.
The overall fastest, best car in the race won the race. But the way that all happened was insane. It really was. And, the only thing I hate about, how that all played out, I said things I liked or didn't like. I would have parked him, but, the only thing I hate is, with him and Bobby getting together, of course, Bobby wasn't in his picture, after the race.
I wonder why.
I mean, Bobby said he really wanted to go in his picture and just punch him in the face, but that didn't happen. So, fun times. That late model race was very entertaining. A lot of the people that come here that have came here for years, they don't really like the Stock 4 division, even though it's exciting racing. And they'll admit, man, it's super exciting. But they go, it's just a 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just old junkyard car. You know what I mean? Well, so they like the late models. So they like all that drama. They like all those things that happen, and that's cool. So we got something for them and the mini stocks, off the chain there. Rookie race. Anything happened in the rookie race? I don't really remember.
Heather, man, I thought she was going to get it done. She had a huge gap on them guys. Something happened. I can't remember. Too much stuff. Caution came out.
Yeah.
Then somewhere at some point, I can't remember his name, the zero.
Kevin Nicely. Holy crap, the move he made.
Yeah. There wasn't exactly room in between them two cars, and he decided to channel his inner Wesley Givens, and he put it in there anyway.
Lord.
Wheel hopped the hell out of Heather.
Yeah.
It messed her car up.
Yeah.
And he just kept going like nothing was wrong.
Had people messaging me, hey, there's a transponder on the track over in turn 3. No, that was the lights off the top of her car. They're just sitting over there blinking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that was great, though. James Chrisley taking the victory in that. I think it was his second win. He probably needs to move on. We need some new winners this week, so we probably need to move him on up to Stock 4.
Womp womp.
I mean, we got one race left. I mean, somebody else needs to win. Nobody who's won this year needs to be in it.
I was really hoping Heather was going to get it done. If that caution come out, she might have, because she was running decent lap times and she had a huge lead on them.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe this week.
Yeah. No, for sure. I'll be honest with you, because Daniel Hudson was in that car during the Stock 4s or whatever and qualified it. I didn't know who was in the car. I didn't know if that was her or Daniel Hudson or in the Stock 4. I didn't know which one was which. I had no idea all night.
There was a little bit of trickery going on in quite a few cars.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
With qualifying and such. So, I mean, I think there was a lot of swapping going around that nobody knew about.
Well, yeah. I'll save my comments on that. Anyways, what other stock? So the second Stock 4 race. Okay, we've been through all the rest of the races, right? Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
So the second Stock 4 race, they raced like crazy, man. Your brother had a good lead. Looked like he was heading toward victory, but his car looked like it was going away the entire race. The longer the race went, the more it went away.
Yeah.
And then once they had to restart, Wes got by him, got the win. Josh finished second, but man, that group behind him, you mentioned them earlier. You got. I'm trying to play it back in my mind here. You've got Gary. Who was beside of Gary?
Was it Jaden?
No, Jaden made it 3 wide all the way on the inside.
Oh, yeah, Jaden made himself next to him.
Yeah. And then, so they're all stacked up there. Okay. So it was Caleb and Gary and them, and Keyshawn right in there with them. So, I mean, they're all just stacked up.
Yeah.
And this is the last lap, man. I mean, they come off of turn 2. They all get, and they about wadded it. By the time they get past the Thunder at FC Speedway down the back straightaway there, Jaden's looking at the outside wall, and, I mean, they are all about to just wad them up here. But somehow they managed not to wreck.
Just like all year, man. They somehow pull the craziest moves off and somehow don't wreck them.
Yeah. Pretty amazing. Now, out of that comes, Keyshawn and Caleb all end up being mad at each other. I mean, it was just racing, man. They're just racing hard. Coming
out of turn 4, you missed that part. After all that happened.
I saw it.
Keyshawn was in front of Caleb, and Caleb decided to, put the bumper to it just a little bit. He gave him just a little love tap. And I guess I don't know if he was just trying to get in front of him or let him know how he felt. But
yeah, I mean those two ain't got enough sense. Yeah, we got the video here going.
We're gonna break it down live.
So you got, it's Gary and Caleb, and then Jaden jumps in there, and then they get up, and when Gary goes,
Josh Brown right there behind them.
Josh Brown's right there with them. Yeah. So looking at that video, when Gary went to come up the track where they were 3 wide. It looks like, he caught Caleb, the front end of Caleb's car, and Caleb come down into Keyshawn. That's what set off the whole thing. And, of course, Caleb and Keyshawn, they're down here arguing in the pits afterwards. And, that Keyshawn got himself pushed off of pit wall over here.
I was getting ready to say, Keyshawn was doing his Bobby G impression and ran up and jumped up pit wall.
Yeah, he ran up in the wrong time, okay? He picked the wrong, because I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, Caleb's brother, Jacob, I mean, I ain't going to explain it to you the way I explain it to other people, but he's got some strength, and that would not have ended very well.
What do you mean he's got some strength? Is it a specific kind of strength?
Yes. Yes, it is. And let me tell you, he would have used it all on Keyshawn, okay? He about used it on me. I went to shove him back, like, hey, don't do that. And he sticks his hands out, and about the time he sees my face, he kind of, his hands dissipate. But, luckily, I thought it was going to be another Dominion. I thought he was going to throw me on the hood of one of the cars out there for a second. I wasn't real sure what was getting ready to happen. But it got live there for a minute. But, those two, they're both just two young, super aggressive drivers. And, there's nothing wrong with that, and that's okay. And, they're going from time to time, they're going to run into each other, and they're not going to like that they ran into each other. And, you just got to learn to live another day. But I will say this, Keyshawn should probably just learn to pick his battles, okay? Because I don't think if I'm in the championship 3 and I know I'm good to go there, I'm not picking a fight with a guy who's not. Especially a guy who drives like Caleb does, okay?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say maybe the worst possible time to piss somebody off.
Yeah.
That very clearly is not afraid to put his bumper to you.
No.
Right before the championship race. It might not have been the smartest course of action.
It probably wasn't. But, I don't know how old Keyshawn is, but, you live and learn. And maybe he's not there yet.
Well, he might live and learn this upcoming weekend. We'll see what happens.
It could happen. Now, listen, a whole other thing, and, it's funny for me as a promoter to talk about this, but I don't talk about it. I don't care. I don't give a crap. According to some people in the division, there is somebody that has put a bounty on Keyshawn for this weekend. I am told that you could get as much as $500 this weekend for taking Keyshawn out. That's what I've been told.
Yeah, but if you don't know who the bounty's from, how you know how to collect?
Well, see, now that's the whole other thing, okay? And somebody's got to know where the money's coming from. And I don't know, you get rumors like that, and that's why I say it, because it's just, to me, and, unless it happens, it's just a joke. You know what I mean? It's funny.
Look, here's what happens. If you do it, after the race, you go park your car at the hauler.
Yeah.
You then go somewhere else for 5 minutes, and when you come back, there's $500 sitting in your seat.
Yeah.
And then nobody knows.
Is that how it works?
I don't know.
Did you put up the money?
Well,
I know you're not a big Keyshawn fan.
No.
No?
Not this time.
Not this time. Oh, so you have in the past?
I wouldn't have put up $500.
Oh no! Listen, you're
I would have been like
put up $5.
I would have been like 2 Bud Lights and a corn dog.
Go get you one of them seasoned hot dogs. What
one of them old Dusty Dogs.
Holy smokes, man!
Yeah, I'll buy you a Dusty Dog if you take out Keyshawn.
Have mercy. Yeah, I don't think that was the smartest thing he's ever done in his life, but it is what it is. The Championship 3 is going to be very interesting. We got the Hex Haunted Attraction Championship night coming up this Saturday. It's raining right now, but the weather looks like it's going to clear for the weekend. Man, we've got a big night. We've got four divisions, 3 of which still have not decided a champion. There are 3 people in each division, dead tied, all at 400 points apiece, going for the championship in the Manita Tractor and Trailer Legends division, the Stock 4 division, and the Mini Stocks.
While I'm not a huge fan of playoffs, I am super excited for this because it's who knows what's going to happen. They maybe could go out there and just be nice and play nice. I don't foresee that happening. I think it's going to be maybe not a wreck fest like it was, but coming towards the end, somebody's getting moved, somebody's going somewhere.
Yeah. Well, these Stock 4s, yes, they've made a lot of contact, but they've played nice for the most part this season.
Well, in Stock 4 terms. If they were driving that late models like that,
I don't know. The car store races just like them, so I don't know.
That is true.
Or they did. They did when they were on the ST2 tire. That's a whole other conversation. But they don't race like that anymore.
Yeah.
They ruined. They had an incredible product and they ruined it. They let the racers cry just enough to ruin it. That's another story. The championship 3 in the Legends, which is a weird scenario, So none of them made all the playoff races.
Yeah.
None of the guys who were in the playoffs. There were 4 drivers in the playoffs. Now we're down to 3. Only one of them actually has a car at the moment. But at least one, if not both of the other 2, may have a car by this weekend. So
I hope so.
You got Chris Lilly, Ethan Troll, and James Folds. All could win the championship this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, it could get interesting, especially if Ethan Troll shows up. Him and Chris don't really love each other to start with.
Well, maybe this is finally the day that Ethan lets it hang out. What does it matter to him? He's got a modified.
Right. Yeah. And speaking of, he made his smart modified debut, a week ago. Had some problems with the car. His dad, takes most of the blame. He said, for the way the car was, and their strategy, and the race went, green flag or whatever. And it's cool that he's in that. And Austin Sams made his debut this weekend in 602s. I'm not sure how that. I haven't seen. I haven't had a chance to pay attention to that. I've had a lot going on. Anyways, so. That's the 3 in the Legends division. That could be a bunch of nothing, or that could be very interesting. We'll see which one. Now the other 2, there ain't gonna be a bunch of nothing. It's gonna be very interesting.
Not at all.
The mini stocks, you've got Josh Phillips, Dennis Holdren, and Wes Givens going for the championship. The way that they've raced all year, and I said this earlier about Dennis Holdren. I mean, he could just fall right into this championship because he doesn't have the fastest car, but he just always seems to be where he needs to be at the end of the race.
I feel like the mini stocks, that is probably the most unpredictable one.
It is.
Who knows what's going to happen to all 3 of them guys anyway. I think it's going to come down to whatever happens on that last restart, I feel like, and we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they all have, a competition caution with 5 laps to go, and, they finish it up real nice.
I hope so.
I mean,
and make it nice for me.
I mean, I think that's a rule that needs to be in place for Saturday night, and, go from there. Let's go. I mean, we can't really predict the Legends, okay? Because we don't even know who's going to be here. Mini stock, who are you taking? Who's your champion? If you got to pick right now, you're putting $1,000 on it. Who's winning?
I'd say Dennis.
Yeah, I'll take Dennis Holdren too.
Just because Dennis somehow stumbles his way into it every time.
Now, with that said, either one of the other 2 could easily win, and we could easily lose our $1,000 share. Easily. I mean, Josh Phillips has not been slow. He's been right there with them. I mean, Wes has probably been the fastest of those 3 over the last couple of months. But I mean, they're right there together.
The problem is I could see Wes winning it, but I could also see Wes being in second place on, 4 laps to go. And he maybe, dumps a guy.
Maybe puts her in a little too deep over
here. Yeah, and then he's going to catch a black flag and go to the back. I could see that as a strong possibility.
I could see that. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if I'm one of the championship guys, and this stands for stock 4 and mini stock, if I'm one of the championship guys and Wes is behind me, well, I mean, the only way you're getting by me is you have to wreck me. We are wrecking, 100%.
Yeah.
Because I'm not letting you get into the lead, period.
Yeah.
You're not going there. So we wreck, and we both go to the back. That's cool.
Yep. Well, see, there's the key. Right around in 3rd place,
yeah.
Which is probably what Dennis is going to do.
Yeah.
Wait for them to screw up, and he's going to be like, "Yep, thank you."
Yeah, I'm sure Dennis is probably going to change the gear in that car this week, and he'll probably be, or he may be in the other car. I don't know. I mean, they may put another motor in the other car. I don't know what the heck they're going to do. I mean, the way he's blown motors, though, I suggest he doesn't come practice this week.
I'd suggest he brings all 3 of them cars with him.
I mean,
just in case.
Could be very interesting there. Stock 4, your 3 guys are Gary Smith, Keyshawn Clater, and Wes Givens.
I wonder, is that what we predicted?
I don't know. We'd have to go back. I don't know. Yes.
I feel like that's what we predicted.
Basically. I mean, unfortunately, Jaden Austin, he turned it on too late. He needed to go a couple of races sooner. He needed to be because I mean he had it turned on Saturday. I mean he was determined to get good finish this Saturday and got second and third, but too little, too late. And Josh Brown had performed his best in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean he went from being the sixth place guy to the fourth place guy, and now I think he's probably fifth. But Josh, your brother, Josh Hinchee put together a valiant effort, the way things went, between him and his teammate, Chad, they got together, they're in that race. Then he ends up in the 33 car that Austin Williams was driving that Wes owns. And, he's put together a good effort, and he finally got it, fast enough this past weekend, but he was way late.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but I mean, you live and you learn. Maybe next year, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe some other time, somewhere.
Maybe next November, baby. Maybe next November. Anyways, who you taking?
You ain't gonna like it.
Oh, I already don't like it.
You know who I'm taking.
Yeah.
Wes ain't gonna let nobody win. He's gonna strap that helmet on. He's going to get that dumb look on his face that he has when he drives. He's going to set that head on his right shoulder, and somebody's getting moved.
Well, the problem is, the moving, he's going to have to move them in a way they don't wreck. That's the problem.
Well, that's not that hard in Stock 4.
Well, I mean, it hasn't
I
been.
feel like, regardless of what you say about people's, skill, maybe their racecraft is lacking, but the ability for these guys to save their cars, other than Buck, I think everybody has it.
Poor Buck. He's taking it on the chin today. But, I mean, I could see that playing out anyway, man. Keyshawn was the fastest I've seen him all year Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, fastest looking. I don't know about lap times. I don't know.
But if we're going to be honest with Keyshawn, he worries a lot about what's going on behind him instead of focusing on turning good laps. And I also think once he gets in the lead, he gets excited real easy and he starts making mistakes. Now, especially now he's done pissed another guy off, and there's allegedly a $500 bounty floating around on his head. He's going to have a lot of things on his mind.
Man, if he hasn't heard about this bounty when he hears the podcast tomorrow, he's going to freak out. Man.
Yeah, he might be upset.
Yeah,
I know his sponsor definitely going to be too happy.
Lauren will have to put up $500 to keep him from getting wrecked. Here.
No, he has to go $500 the other direction, so he's got to put up $1,000.
Yeah. There we go. $1,000 if you don't wreck him this weekend.
Yeah. That's easy. I'm racing.
Yeah, I mean,
pay me.
You should. I mean, I don't pay you near that much, so.
No, I haven't got paid in a couple weeks.
Oh my God! Here we go. Jesus, you fired yourself a couple weeks ago. Okay?
No, I did not.
And so, I mean, I'm just saying.
You just showed me. You owe me back pay. That's
all right. Listen, if you don't get paid on race night, that is your deal, dog. Anyways, I'll take Gary. I mean, I wrote that on my plan, so I got to think.
That's your plan.
That's my plan. That's my plan. Anything to keep West from winning championships. And it's funny. The whole idea behind. And I think Josh Brown was mostly kidding. Okay, when he says that it's rigged, I think he's mostly kidding. Now he probably does believe, and I believe he believes that Wes Givens is going to win both those championships. Okay. But I don't think in his mind he really believes that I or the track would rig it for him to win. Because I can tell you, let me tell you what I think about. Okay, and this is probably obviously I don't make the calls during the race, so I can think anything I want to think. As the promoter, I think, man, Wes Givens not winning a championship is better for me than Wes Givens winning a championship for me. Okay, this year he won like 42 of them last year. Okay, I don't need him to win 2 of the 4 this year. And I mean, for me, I'm thinking about okay, and you can kind of figure this by my quote unquote plan. I'm thinking about selling the most tickets to the banquet here. Okay, I mean of these groups, Dennis Holdren and Gary Smith are going to sell me the most tickets to the banquet.
Yeah,
I mean, so that's what I'm looking for. Okay, that's how I hope it plays out. Okay.
I mean, one could only hope.
I mean, do I really care? No. But, I mean, listen, if it comes down to it, I need to pay for the banquet, so I need to sell as many tickets as possible. That venue is not cheap, and everything we do is very expensive. So, that's my hope.
You can't rig anything with Wes involved anyway. I tried to rig a spectator drag with him last year, and he just immediately
He didn't understand.
he just lost it. I spent 2 days thinking about it, constructed a whole plan, and he immediately just hits me as soon as they drop the green flag. I'm like, there goes that plan.
Yeah, that one went out the window. Hey, make it look like it's an accident. Bam! No, it wasn't an accident.
I will say, however, this year, though, these spectator drags are not rigged.
No.
We've only tried to do that one time before. I don't even think you were involved. I just tried to do it myself.
Listen, I came up with the original idea, and then I let y'all do your thing. You know what I mean?
Well, I crafted a beautiful plan.
Well, y'all did a terrible job.
He did. I was like, all right. I even told, what's his face? It was riding with me. I said, there's a whole plan here.
Yeah. And
then it just went out the window. So anything rigged with Wes involved is not going to go how you think it is.
No. So we've talked about anything with Wes involved, period, is not going to go how you think it is. Lord. Anyways, so we've talked about Legends, we've talked about mini stocks, we've talked about stock fours. The late models, the championship's over with, as far as that goes. Now, second place is in jeopardy there. Drew Bond and Kyle Dudley are second and third, I believe, 23 points, 21 points. So there's 2 points separating them. Drew would have to finish 2 positions behind Kyle this weekend. If Kyle races, I don't even know. I mean, I assume he is. But so he'd have to finish 2 positions behind him for those spots to swap, I guess. Or no, that would make them tied, but that would still swap the spots because Kyle has the most wins. Anyways, so Matt Lawrence is going to win the championship, which is cool. He's been the only guy to run all the races. And, I mean, he's been through the ringer to try to run all the races.
Yeah, he's been through a lot this year, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the crash on the back straightaway 2 or 3 races ago, Saturday night, and he told me his dad told me, he said, we were so thankful that we broke. After the way things played out, he broke on lap number 1, broke the distributor, and was done for the night.
Probably saved him a lot of money.
That's what he said. He said, we would have tore our stuff up tonight if we'd have been out there with them, because everybody else did. You know, and it's funny, the late models have started out the season, they wrecked every damn thing they could find. Went through a spell there where the racing was fantastic, and I mean, like the Kyle Dudley, Kyle Barnes show was amazing, and then we get back to this past weekend, and they just decide to wad everything up again.
It could have only been better if Tyler Ashley had been in there.
Well, if Tyler Ashley would have been in there, that'd been another car tore up, and Landon Nestor, that'd been another car tore up. We could have had quite a few cars this weekend.
Yeah, well, it's still not bad.
It was 9. It was I think it was the most we've had all season. But we could have had double digits. I mean, my buddy Mike Diaz owns Southern National Motorsports Park. He says he has double digits every week. He said, 06 is a double digit, okay?
Close enough.
So we're going with that. We had 09 late models this weekend, so we had double digits. But I think the late model race is going to be good this weekend. Doug Morgan was in the field in the .08 car. I know you really enjoyed that one. And I seen a comment, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I am because I don't give a damn. Somebody put on Facebook that they should put a point before the 1.8 on the 18 car. That was it on the TikTok video, which we haven't talked about yet. The TikTok video with Bobby Gillespie after him and Kyle got together. That was an interesting moment.
I finally got a good interview.
Yeah.
I keep interviewing these people and nobody says anything exciting. They're just like, well, stuff happens. Yeah. You're like, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Ryan Newman talking to you. But yeah, Bobby didn't hold back. He was cool, calm, and collected until I turned that camera on, and all of a sudden he was not so cool, calm, and collected.
That's one thing I can say. Back when I did Race 22 all the time and interviewed people, I came here one night in 2012, and Bobby and Kelly Kingery and a couple other guys were here, and man, you flip the camera on Bobby. He's going to be very charismatic. He's going to be very interesting.
Yeah,
every time, and it was this time. He definitely went off and shared a few explicitives with you and told us how he felt.
Technically, it was only one.
Well, one multiple times.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I liked it.
It was good. I mean, it was funny. And you have fun with it, man. I mean, it is what it is. I think you're going to probably get a lot of good interviews this week.
Oh, I hope so.
It's going to be an interesting night, man. We mentioned them earlier, though. The Star Super Stock Series coming this weekend.
Buddy.
Boo Carlisle bringing the tour to town. He obviously with Future here, uncertain. I mean, I'm not saying for a second that it's not going to open, but with the future uncertain, he's talking to his street stock guys. Hey, man, this may be the last chance we get to go up here and race, and I think they're going to have a good turnout.
Yeah, and shout out to what was it, Dylan Speedway?
Yeah, Dylan.
For being so cool.
Yep. Well, Ron's always been good, and I've we had a race one time, and I rescheduled it because he. Had his, so we've always tried to play nice with one another. Ron's a first class individual, and appreciate that.
That's what tracks need nowadays. There's too many. I can't remember.
Too many people are out for themselves for sure.
Yeah,
so.
it's.
But Ron's first class, man, and appreciate him doing that, and hopefully that helps the field this weekend. I know there's a lot of those street stock guys who have never got a chance to come up here that would really like to, whether they get to make it this weekend or not. There's a bunch of them that would really like to come up here and race because, I mean, whether you've seen Buck Wild or you kind of watched this place through the pandemic or whatever your experience of Franklin County Speedway is, a lot of people would like to come here and race just because it's just different.
Yeah. I'm super excited for these street stocks, man. It's always been since I was a kid and I saw my first local race. They've always been my favorite, and there's not a whole lot of them around anymore.
No,
those cars are just going away. So
now we should have one local boy in the field, Danny Bush. Come and run with us last year in that one race we had. He was the only car to run with us, and he did win. But
he got first and last.
He got first. Yeah, he did. He's the first guy to finish first and last in a race here. Well, at least last year, anyways.
Does that mean he doesn't get paid since he got last place?
Oh no.
No, you got last, brother.
That's one. I should have used that on him. That's one thing. I've always tried to. No matter what we said here, I think that was a 1,000 to win race. So it is what it is. I got to eat it. You know what I mean?
Hell, you paid me $500 for a 20-second demo derby one time.
Yeah, I have stuck to my word way too many times here. That's for sure. I don't know. We're in for a good weekend, man. The Hex Haunted Attraction Championship night is going to be a good one, and I'm looking forward to it. But I did want to, before we take off, I wanted to talk about what we're going to do when the season's over with. So we end the season this weekend.
Yeah.
We're done. We're not running the October or November races. Not sure what's going to happen here. They got some improvements planned, and cool. But whether we're recording from here or somewhere else, we're gonna we'll have next week's episode, and then probably over the next 4 episodes after that, we'll bring in each one of the champions. Sit down and talk about their season, and maybe depending on what happens, bring in the other guys in the fold with them in their championship battle, which I think would be right interesting. So we can got some stuff to keep us going, and we still want to get Bobby Gillespie on here, and I got a list of people, and I still want to get Wilton AG on here before we're done. The guy who built this place back in the day, and so we got a lot of stuff for the Pit Chatter podcast. Just because I'm technically leaving the track here doesn't mean the podcast is going away. We're planning on keeping it going, and we may start to talk more about other racing right here, in the region, which we have. Through the course of the year, we've talked about Natural Bridge, and we've talked about South Boston.
Guess that means I have to buy a flow, huh?
I mean, well, listen, you're just going to have to buy tickets to races. I mean, that's what you're going to have to do.
Yeah, well, might go on a world tour this year.
Yeah.
Or next year.
I mean, you're going to be busy selling hot dogs in October, so you're going to miss a lot of races.
Yep. Glizzies.
I know the month of October, I am booked up. That's why I'm so glad the weather's going to work out this week, because moving this race into the month of October for any reason was not good for me.
Yeah,
I got T-shirts galore. I've got to do. I need to be at home working on them right now. To be honest with you, got Jimmy Mullins Martinsville T-shirts coming out hopefully tonight or tomorrow, and we've got a bunch of stuff going on, man.
Yeah,
bunch of stuff. Speaking of merchandise, be sure if you didn't get your Ricky Gillespie memorial hats and T-shirts and stuff this past weekend, be sure to get them. I got a few left, so get what you can. And but that's kind of what we're planning on doing. Hopefully, we'll get all the champions in here and get to talk to them, and that'll carry us through at least the month of October. And hopefully we got some other people in the month of November, and we can talk about some of the other bigger races. November's stacked full of big races in the region. maybe I can even get you to, either buy flow or travel. I'm going to be going to the South Carolina 400 at Florence and the Thanksgiving Classic at Southern National. Maybe I can get you to travel along with me. I'll tell you one of the things I've been thinking about doing. I've got this trailer, this enclosed trailer out here, and I'm going to use it obviously for my merch stuff, going to tracks. But I'm thinking about in the front of it, building out, a podcast studio in the front of it where we can go to tracks and just sit down and just, invite drivers up and just start talking to them.
That'd be cool as hell. I'd love it.
I think that'd be great. And I've always wanted to do, and I have the ability to do it now, so might as well.
Yeah, I mean, I like driving cars and stuff, but I ain't gonna lie, this is more fun.
Yeah,
I like talking on the microphone. And
yeah. Well,
it's a lot cheaper.
I'm gonna tell you, no, your first race as announcer was a catastrophe. Okay,
it was pretty bad.
Listen, we went into you didn't show up to the employee meeting, so you didn't get to hear. But everybody there was like, "Well, you got to do something about Noah." I mean, they were like, "This guy's terrible, man."
It was pretty bad.
And it was bad. But and I told him, I said, I see potential here. You know what I mean?
You got to give me more than one shot. It's going to take a minute.
It took more than a minute, but we got there. I mean, I think by 3 or 4 races in, I think you were pretty good.
Yeah, I'm settled in now.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like now, I felt like the other night, I'm just getting into my prime here, and here we are at the end of the year, and who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Keep the podcast going. You're gonna fire up the live videos hopefully here. Sometime in the month of October, and try to get people dialed in for 2025. I think those will be entertaining.
Gonna get more money than you ever got before.
Yeah.
And then we're opening up a restaurant.
Listen, let me tell you something about the guy's restaurant. I have seen people's real reviews of the 501 Roadhouse. I like Brian Reynolds. For what it's worth, I really like the guy. I know everybody else likes to hate on him and make fun of him and stuff. I really like the guy, and I think that he's got good business sense. He may not know when to shut the hell up, but he's got good business sense, and he's doing great with that 501 Roadhouse. I'd love to travel up there and go up there and get something to eat one day.
You might have to do it.
Hey, we should
do
take
a podcast with
stuff
him.
up there and go up there and get him. That would be epic. Did you see his live about his restaurant? He was there. The ABC guy was there telling him what he couldn't do, so he went live during it.
I don't
Listen,
know.
He may get shut down, okay, eventually, because he can't shut up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it was his wife or somebody else came over and told him, shut up, get up, he can shut us down, during his life. I don't care.
Hopefully somebody documents it.
Dude, it was fantastic. I mean, listen, I think that guy should pay a camera crew just to follow him around and put a microphone on him 24/7. The dude's got the next reality hit.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, he really does. He really does. Anyways, we've rambled on enough here, man. We got Hex Haunted Attraction Championship Night coming up this Saturday, September 21st. Race starts at 7 p.m. Going to be pretty good weather, man. I think we're looking good. I'm excited. I'm excited to finish this thing up.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm excited about it, but we're going to have to get out of here and wait until Saturday, I guess.
All right.
All right, man. We're out.
Bing bong.